That's gotta be good for pictures. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mark Mullet,
Having been duly elected to the City of Issaquah Mayor,
having been duly elected to the City of Issaquah Mayor,
a 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2026,
a 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2026,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of this office
discharge the duties of this office
according to the law
according to the law
and to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
I will support
I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the constitutional laws of the state of Washington,
and constitutional laws of the state of Washington,
all local ordinances.
and all local ordinances.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We've got a few of these to go through. We're going to give every council member the same opportunity. You can introduce anybody you want in the audience. So I'm going to introduce my family in the audience tonight. And so, yes, there's a lot of mullets. We're going to start with my children, starting with oldest to youngest. So first we have Isabel Mullet, who just graduated from Western. Isabel, you have to stand up and kind of wave. Down here we have Davis Stryer, just graduated from Montana State. We have Eloise Mullet, just attending Colorado State, about to study abroad in Barcelona. We have Riley Stryer at TCU as a sophomore. We have Caroline Mullet, our junior at Issaquah High School. And our youngest of the family, Penelope Mullet, the sophomore at Issaquah High School. And then we have the definition of a better half, my wife, Kelly Mullet. And while we're here, we have my older brother, Scott Mullet, along with his wife, Janelle, and their 3 daughters. And we have Miranda and Anne Marie and McKenna. So yes, we call this, when we get all together, it's a Mullet-palooza. It's good. And just, I guess my remarks, well, first I'd like to say there was one member of our family who's not here tonight I do want to thank. And that's our dad, Steve Mullet, who was the mayor of Tukwila, the town where I was born and raised, from 99 through 07. And it was his example that showed me the amazing things you can accomplish in this world through local public service. And I will say that I've had the privilege during my life, based on college and my career in finance, to live in a lot of places in this world. I've lived in Southern California, in the Midwest, on the East Coast. I spent 5 years in Europe. And it was that experience that taught me that the Pacific Northwest is not just the best part of the United States. It is literally one of the most beautiful scenic places that you can live this entire earth. And I think in Issaquah we have the additional luxury, because within the Pacific Northwest, there's no better city to live than right here in Issaquah. And I was having lunch with former Mayor Rowan Hines last month, and he reminded me of the Issaquah motto, which is that Issaquah is a special place where people care. And I can't think of a better way to describe this community that I've fallen in love with for these past 20 years. And I give you my promise to the citizens of Issaquah and the esteemed City Council that I will always listen, I will always work hard, I will always tell the truth, and I will help whenever I can. So this amazing city we call Issaquah can achieve its full potential in the years ahead.
Now he's mayor.
You'd rather.
I think we are going to start with council position number 1, which is Kelly Jane.
Sure.
Hello?
And to raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Kelly Jane,
Having been duly elected to the City of Issaquah Council position number 1,
having been duly elected to the City of Issaquah Council position number 1,
a 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2026,
a 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2026,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of this office
discharge the duties of this office
according to the law
according to the law
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
I will support
That I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the constitutional laws of the state of Washington
and the constitutional laws of the state of Washington
and all local ordinances.
and all local ordinances.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can I say anything? You want to sign it?
Well, I'll sign it, I guess.
Okay.
I didn't really know we were supposed to prepare a speech for this, but I will sign this.
And the second one too.
Okay. Great.
Deal.
I don't really have any super prepared remarks, but I'll just riff for a minute or so. I was appointed to the Issaquah City Council just under a year ago, and in the last year, it's been basically like drinking from a fire hose, learning about everything in our amazing city, and learning about, all the things that have made Issaquah and gotten us to where we are today, and also thinking about, where can we get to, and as our mayor Mullet said, how can we help Issaquah reach our true potential in the years to come? So I'm really excited to get to work with all of my colleagues, both old and new, and especially excited to, kind of be on the other side of the table when we're doing another appointment coming up shortly, starting next week. So thank you all for being here tonight, and I think I'll hand it off to whoever's next.
Okay, next, we'd like to invite for council position number 3, Barbara DiMichele.
Good.
We will.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Barbara DiMichele,
Having been duly elected to the City of Issaquah Council position number 3,
having been duly elected to the City Council position number 3,
four-year term beginning January 1st, 2026,
a 4-year term starting January 1st, 2026,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of this office
discharge the duties of this office
according to the law
according to the law
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
and that I will support
and that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Washington
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Washington
and all local ordinances.
and all local ordinances.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Kelly, I did get the memo, so. So thank you first to the voters of Issaquah for providing me with the privilege of serving you for the next 4 years. Even though I ran unopposed, I am honored by your affirmation of support, and I look forward to working with all the residents of Issaquah, whether you voted for me or not, as we focus on the best solutions for our beautiful community. I do have family, but they are all remote, and so I want to acknowledge that I do have family in attendance. First of all, my sister Joanne Wright, who's joining us from Spokane. They're all up there. My son John, daughter-in-law Diane, granddaughter Aiko, and grandson Robbie. They're all from Covington. My nephew Dan and wife Christy of Kent, along with grandnephews Connor and Skylar, and grandniece Sarah, who's a member of the University of Arizona Wildcat softball team and who might just be listening in from Tucson. And then finally, my nephew Mark, wife Nicola, and grandnephew Harrison, who live in South Cove and are 3 of our constituents. I also want to thank Kaylee Jake, who ran my re-election campaign. I know it was tough. Thanks Kaylee. And John Rittenhouse and Trish Bloor, who worked on my campaign as well. And I also have a friend in Vashon who just notified me that she's listening in. So I feel extremely blessed and grateful tonight. Thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Okay, sheet safe. Respond to me. They can't need to keep. Yes, I know.
Oh, I have to sign twice? Okay.
And it goes at
but you're going to take this with you. Okay? There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
See, when you do your job well, Councilmember DiMichele, nobody wants to run against you. I think that you deserve that campaign you had. I'd next like to invite for council position number 5, Russell Joe.
Yes, Bossman.
Your Honor, may I please the court? Russell Joe, appearing on behalf of myself.
I think very hard about holding me in contempt, so we'll be up there.
You always did.
There you go. If you raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Russell Joe,
Having been duly elected to the City of Issaquah Council Position Number 5,
having been duly elected to the City of Issaquah, position number 5,
a 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2026,
a 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2026,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of this office
discharge the duties of this office
according to the law
according to the law
and to the best of my ability,
and the best of my ability,
and that I will support
and I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the constitutional laws of the state of Washington,
and the constitutional laws of the state of Washington
all local ordinances.
and all local ordinances.
Congratulations.
Thank you. As many of you know, I'm starting my 13th year, the lucky 13. So I'm very excited to continue to have the privilege and honor of serving all of you. It's really wonderful when you wake up in the morning and you say, what can I do to help make the city a little bit better today? And then you go out and you meet people and you talk with people and you find out what we can do together to make the city better. And I hope to continue to do that for the next 4 years as your council member. Thank you.
Sign right down the top.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, and last and definitely not least, because this is the person who was on the council when I was on the council 15 years ago, I'd like to invite Tola Martz, council position number 7.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Tola Martz,
Having been duly elected to the City of Issaquah Council Position Number 7,
having been duly elected to the City of Issaquah Council Position Number 7,
a 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2026,
a 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2026,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of this office
discharge the duties of this office
according to the law
according to the law
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
and I will support
and that I will support
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Washington
and the Constitution and the laws of the state of
and
Washington
all local ordinances.
and all local ordinances.
Congratulations.
Well, one of the advantages of going last is that it gives me time to write a short little speech that I didn't know that I was going to be giving, but I will be brief. This is my 5th time with Judge Stewart, and so I don't have any family here tonight, unfortunately. But everything that I do, I have the support of my wife Tracy, who is just amazing and allows me to do all the cool stuff that I do. I have 2 wonderful children. And they are both in public service. My daughter Sophie lives in New York City, and she is in public health, and she does evaluation of public health systems. And my son Aiden is actually working right now at the King County Sheriff's Office on the 911. So if you live in unincorporated King County, or you live in Sammamish or one of the other cities that's served by the Sheriff's Office, you could possibly get him on the phone. But it thrills me that they have both taken up public service. This is a hard job. What we do here can be a hard job. And, I've been lucky enough to do rocket science and quantum computing, and none of it is as hard as this because it touches people's lives in a way that none of that business stuff really does. But fortunately, we have an amazing staff in the city of Issaquah. We have amazing electeds. We've seen it this year, how hard people sought out the issues that were important to all of you and had it feed their campaigns. We're going to do that again when we do an appointment here in the next month. And we have amazing constituents, the voters and the business people of Issaquah. It's hard challenges. We're lucky enough we don't have some of the division and strife that some communities have. We work hard. You all appreciate it. You come here, you tell us what matters to you, and then we make the tough decisions. So thank you.
So,
Congratulations.
Okay, if there is no objection, we will now take a 10-minute recess to take photos. And everyone can congratulate there and chat with whoever they want in the audience. And our plan is to be back at roughly 7:28. So we are now in recess. We will now call the meeting back to order. I think we're missing Councilmember Jang, who's getting a beverage, but I see Councilmember Jang is on her way. And then Councilmember Joe. Well, the next item of business is ID 1955 National Law Enforcement Appreciation Proclamation. I'd like to invite Police Chief Paul Schwann to the lectern. Whereas the Issaquah Police Department is dedicated to protecting the lives, safety, and property of the Issaquah community through professional, ethical, and compassionate service. And whereas law enforcement officers serve with the courage and integrity, often placing themselves in harm's way to maintain public safety, uphold the law, and respond to emergencies at all hours. And whereas members of the Issaquah Police Department work collaboratively with residents, businesses, schools, and community partners to build trust, strengthen relationships, and promote a safe and welcoming city for all, whereas law enforcement professionals face increasing challenges and responsibilities that require resilience, sound judgment, and a deep commitment to public service, and whereas National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day provides an opportunity to recognize and express gratitude for the dedication, sacrifice, and service of law enforcement officers and professional staff. Now therefore, I, Mark Mullett, Mayor of the City of Issaquah, do recognize January 9th, 2026 to be National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day in the City of Issaquah. I encourage all residents to join me in recognizing and thanking the Issaquah Police Department for their commitment to our community. In witness whereof I have signed my hand and seal the City of Issaquah this 5th day of January, 2026. You want your photo op, Molly?
Thank you, Mayor and council members and the community. It's my honor we have a lot of dedicated people in our organization that work very hard, long hours, lots of different hours to protect. We are one of the very few law enforcement agencies in the state that still respond to all calls for service that are requested. We do afford the opportunity for people to report online for those who want more anonymity or don't have time in everybody's busy lives. But we do still respond if someone does call. We do not put it aside, and that's a huge part of our community and the service that we do provide that is unique to Washington in this time and day and age. And so I appreciate this and the recognition of our staff and how hard they work every day and night, when people are sleeping, when they're awake, whether they live, work, or play here. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Schwan. The next item of business is Agenda Bill 9103, election of council president and deputy council president for 2026. The Issaquah Municipal Code provides that a council president and deputy council president be elected at the first meeting in January for a one-year term. A summary of the responsibilities were provided in tonight's agenda packet. The following process will be used to elect the officers. First, I will call for nominations. When all nominations have been made, I will close the nominations. Council members will then be provided an opportunity to discuss nominees. I will then ask council members to cast votes on the nominees in the order they were nominated. Council members may vote for themselves and may vote for only one nominee. The first council member receiving the majority of the votes is declared the council president. The process will then be repeated for the deputy council president. We'll begin with the nominations for council president. Are there any nominations? Councilmember Joe.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. I would like to nominate Barb DeMichelle for council president.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, the nominations are closed. Is there any discussion of the nominees? If there is no further discussion, the council will now vote on whether to elect Barb DeMichelle as 2026 council president. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Those opposed say no.
No. That's all. Sadly not.
Those opposed say no, and the election is unanimous. Congratulations, Council President Barb DeMichelle.
Let us see.
You may.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the vote of support, and I know we're going to have a challenging year, but I will be doing the best I can to serve as your president and hopefully make things easier, or as easy as we can, among a lot of hard decisions facing us. The person I want to thank the most is our departing council president, Lindsay Walsh. We've been working together for 2 years, and it's been an absolute delight, and she's a wonderful leader. And I've learned a lot from her, and I can only hope that I can do half the job that you did. She's just been great for 3 years, which I think is a historic record as well for our council. So thank you so much, Lindsay.
Okay, we will now open nominations for deputy council president. Are there any nominations? Councilmember Joe.
Mr. Mayor, I would nominate Tola Martz for deputy council president.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, the nominations are now closed. Is there any discussions on the nominee? And if there's no further discussion, the council will now vote on whether to elect Tola Martz as the 2026 deputy council president. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
I'm learning. All those opposed? And it is unanimous that Councilmember Tola Martz is elected deputy council president. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Councilmember Martz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate it. It's the greatest job. You get to be at all the important meetings, but you don't have to answer all the letters. That's Barb's job. So I am very, very much looking forward to being deputy council president, even though people will say council deputy president and they'll say it wrong. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a very, very brief at ease so people can rearrange chairs. Okay, we are back to order. It is now time for public comments. Comments can be made in person or virtually. Those of you who signed up in advance will be called on first. If you're joining us virtually and would like to make comments, please raise your virtual hand or send the host a chat message. And if you're on the phone, press *3. If you joined by computer or smartphone, there should be a hand icon. And if you're in the room and did not sign up, there will be an opportunity for you to raise your hand if you'd like to speak before I close this portion of the meeting. Clerk, has anyone signed up to speak for general audience comments or indicated a desire to speak this evening?
Yes.
As a reminder, written comments may can be submitted anytime at citycouncil@issaquah.gov. For those of you here to make comments, we welcome comments related to Issaquah's programs, projects, services, or events. Comments related to political campaigns are not permitted, and we ask you to be respectful. This is not a back and forth dialogue, but we do want to hear what you have to say. For virtual attendees, please unmute your microphone. For in-person attendees, step up to the lectern, turn on the button on the microphone in which will display a red light. You can state your name and address in relationship to the city, and we ask you to speak clearly and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Thank
All right, the first person signed up to speak is a virtual attendee, Paul Quinn. Paul, I'm making you a panelist now. You should be able to unmute and can choose to turn your video on.
We are waiting for Paul to magically appear.
Paul, I'm going to try.
Okay, I think it works now.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, so
And see you.
great. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Paul Quinn, and I live in Sammamish. I'm speaking to you as an individual who cares about fairness in how Issaquah solid waste customers are charged for disposal. Right now, we charge our residents and businesses for disposal based on the size of container being picked up. The effect of this message is to say that we don't really care how much you put in or divert from the landfill. And this approach is unfair, as it charges all people based on the size of the container rather than what's in the container. And we know this is wrong, as our water, gas, and electricity charges are based on what we use rather than on the size of the wires and pipes connecting us to service. I've emailed you today a few handouts. Handout number 1 shows both updated diversion rates for the city of Issaquah through October 2025, and also a graphic of the trend of the monthly cost for garbage disposal for your single-family residences. It continues to go higher and higher. And last year, King County told us their disposal charges passed on to the city's residences and businesses is likely going to double in coming years. What is worse than this trend line is the city doesn't really allow residences or businesses to reduce their costs for disposal by properly diverting materials for recycling and compost. In fact, your current approach increases cost to folks who work hard sorting recyclables and composting food scraps by charging them the very same as others who are indifferent to this. This is unfair, and it can and should be changed by weighing the refuse that each customer creates. And to begin this change, I recommend a pilot program called Smart Disposal, which will help significantly improve the city's diversion rates. And a note, Smart Disposal is an innovative initiative. It's not a company. Handout number 3 outlines how Smart Disposal works in some detail, and I'll briefly describe it. Smart Disposal weighs each container picked up by the hauler at each single-family home. This system uses postcards then mailed to each resident, which provides data specific to the resident, including a landfill diversion rate per pickup and how their use of the utility compares to others in their community. I provided handout number 4 to show an example postcard report that residents will receive. And this helps us move from a toss and forget mindset towards making better choices. We all know that feedback through measurement works because water, electricity, and gas are metered, and it helps us to moderate our use. Smart Disposal provides the meters our disposal utility needs. The city's current initiatives are good, but they do not provide sufficient impact to improve trends needed to reach the city's 2030 diversion goals. And notably, 2030 is significant for all of you, as that's your term, the next 4 years. So this council can spend time, I don't expect it, but this council could spend time explaining why Issaquah did not hit the diversion goal by 2030, or we can take the needed actions to get us there in time. We need this council to provide the urgency and leadership to drive Smart Disposal forward. And what I recommend to you today is that the city implement Smart Disposal or conduct a proof of concept project to demonstrate for about $50,000 that Smart Disposal works. Metering and reporting to residents what we dispose of at the curb provides fairness to help us abate increasing cost of disposal. This council should support fair pricing for our disposal utility. Thanks for listening tonight.
Thank you very much, Paul.
The next person signed up to speak is Circe Allen here in the council chambers.
All right, go ahead.
Hi there, my name is Matthew Fisher, and I'm a recent graduate from Issaquah High School. I'm joined here by Cersei and Cam, and I'm also a 15-year citizen here in Issaquah. During my time in high school, I had the privilege of serving as student body president and as a sustainability ambassador, working closely with the City of Issaquah's sustainability department. Today, members of the Issaquah Sustainability Ambassador team and I wanted to share some of our work in 2025 toward advancing the current Issaquah Climate Action Plan. One of the agenda items for this City Council meeting is the Environmental Board Annual Report, submitted by Stacy McKinstry, and we wanted to link her emphasis on more engagement with the Issaquah School District with some of our school-based actions and initiatives. The first thing I wanted to highlight was how the Issaquah team successfully advocated for a district-wide sustainability policy in the Issaquah School District, Operational Expectation 17. That was officially passed on May 8th, 2025. As a team, we successfully advocated for and secured official letters of support from the City of Issaquah in 4 neighboring cities, Renton, Bellevue, Sammamish, and Newcastle. The effort included several public comments at the school board meetings and multiple rounds of policy drafting and refinement. The result was an operational expectation that has accountability built into it, as the school district must present a monitoring report to the school board each year for the previous school year.
Okay, so hi, I'm Cersei Allen, a junior at Issaquah High School. Some of you guys might recognize me from the town hall event. Something I helped work on this year was a project called the Carbon Commute Count, a multi-district transportation survey and analysis. We received upwards of 12,000 survey responses from 13 middle schools, 7 high schools, and 2 private schools. It was a great feat for us, and we got lots of participation, but obviously this is just a baseline. The Carbon Commute Count is meant to expand campaigns like Bike to School, Carpool to School, and Bus Bingo. By using this data, it adds a personal connection and responsibility to students to improve our per capita count. So far, by incorporating an understanding of carbon footprint in such a digestible way, has been truly a spearhead opening for a united effort, not only on the school spirit level, but in civics, leadership, and science curriculums.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Cam Penhart, and I'm also a junior at Issaquah High School. I have been a sustainability ambassador for just over a year now, and I have the pleasure of being one of Issaquah High School's sustainability coordinators, along with another ambassador, Tuhina Donna, who could not be with us today. This year, Issaquah ASB piloted the sustainability coordinator role and developed a written toolkit in hopes of reducing the environmental waste produced by ASB. Drawing from our personal experience in ASB, the toolkit focuses on what actually works in a school environment. We have organized it into practical focus areas, including but not limited to energy, transportation, waste, and event planning. Within these areas, we provide tips and resources to help facilitate real impact. The ultimate goal is to have Issaquah's ASB serve as a model to other middle and high schools in the area in terms of implementing sustainability into everyday, day-to-day operations. On November 19th, 2025, 3 elected city members and 2 city staff members joined us at the Issaquah Town Hall at school, alongside representatives from all 3 of our ASB student government classes and a whole sustainable design and tech class. Overall, we had 80 students participating in that event, and it was a great success. Cersei, Tuhina, and I all shared key successes from throughout the 2025 calendar year that you just heard about, including some school-based campaigns from the 2024-2025 school year, including this school year, 2025-2026. Elected officials discussed their personal visions for engaging with students within the city's climate action plan, piloted by Stacy McKinstry. The session concluded with a highly successful Q&A that had a great dialogue between students and city staff officials. The town hall received incredible support and encouragement from students and staff, and students are already inspired and asking for more. We hope to continue working with you all in the future and are super excited to see how many student lives we can change. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you very much. Councilmember Jane got credit for that meeting because she rode her bike to it. So, City Clerk?
No one else has signed up in advance.
All right, is there anybody else in the audience who'd like to make public comments? All right, not seeing any. The next item of business is the consent calendar. I do not have any remarks on today's consent calendar items. Are there any committee chairs or chairs and needs who would like to report on any of the consent calendar items? Not hearing any. The consent calendar was distributed to council in advance. If authorized, the item on the consent calendar will be considered together and approved by one motion. Have the payables and payroll been reviewed?
They have.
Does any council member desire to remove any item from the consent calendar and consider it under regular business? All right, the motion to approve the consent calendar presented. Oh. Is there a motion to approve the consent, Council President Michelle?
Thank you, Mayor Mullet. I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 I'm opposed.
All those opposed? No. And that passes. The next item of business is regular business, Agenda Bill 9117, the Public Defender Contract. I'd like to invite City Attorney Rachel Bender-Turpin to present this item.
Good evening and Happy New Year, Mayor, Council, staff. I'm Rachel Bender-Turpin. I'm your city attorney, and I'm here tonight to discuss the Agenda Bill 9014, which is a contract with Valley Defenders, who's the city's current public defender firm, for another one-year contract. These rates reflect increased rates over last year, substantially increased, about double. This is the result of changes in the state, the Washington Supreme Court standards for public defense, which have essentially required the city to, over a 10-year period, dramatically reduce caseloads for public defenders. Currently, it's, I believe, 420 cases per public defender. And at the end of this 10-year period, we have to get down to 120 per public defender. So it's a substantial decrease in cases per attorney. One piece that's key to the order is that the Supreme Court has said that if you are already doing better than you're allowed to decrease it over a 10-year period, 10% per year. However, you can't go up from where you are currently. So in other words, we can't increase caseloads beyond what we have already in place here. We are lucky that in Issaquah, we are already ahead of the curve. We weren't operating with a over 400 per attorney caseload standard. So the good news is we'll get there faster. The bad news is that we now have to jump, a little faster, I guess, than we would if we'd had the full 10 years to implement. And so what we have here before you is a contract with Valley Defenders, who's been serving the city for quite a while now, at least 10 years. They've been doing a good job. It's frankly a difficult field to find public defenders right now. It's hard to find firms that do this, and it's hard to find employees for those firms or for municipalities that want to contract with them directly or employ them as employees. It's a statewide problem that has been exacerbated, frankly, by this Supreme Court order, but it is what it is, and we just have to make the best of it and provide our community with high-quality indigent defense services. The rate was calculated based on a total cost allocation of what it costs for Valley Defenders to employ folks to fill these positions for Issaquah. So because of the shortage, the rates have gone substantially up. You have to pay. People are able to sort of ask their price for these jobs, and very different from when I started, when these were actually pretty low-paying jobs. It's a one-year contract. There is an option for us to renew it for an additional year if the public defender agrees, which would be great because that means that the cases or that the costs aren't going up. It also has provision in the contract that if the caseloads go substantially down or substantially up, the parties can meet and confer and negotiate amendments to the contract. We do hope that we will not be looking at increased cases beyond this. The administration, including myself, are currently looking at ways to limit our filings to begin with, potentially like pre-filing diversion programs that would reduce the number of cases that have to be filed, period, by giving people with very limited low criminal history or no criminal history, the opportunity to do things like classes and community service to avoid having charges filed in the first place. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from the council? Councilmember Chang?
Quick question. Are we, just to recap, are we planning on using some of the funds from the public safety sales tax to help pay for the increased cost here?
Yes, we are.
All right, not seeing any other questions. Does anyone want to make a motion?
So I move approval of resolution number 2026. Is that the right motion? Let's see. That is adopting
That's where
the
we pay
calendar.
City Clerk Tisha the big bucks. And I think just for the record, for the public record, I think it was Agenda Bill 9117. I think there was a different
Right.
number referenced earlier, but I think this one is
Is it not 9014? Oh, no, you're right. It's, yes.
9117, I
That's,
think.
yes, it's 9117. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, let me start over again. So I move to authorize the mayor to execute a professional services agreement with Valley Defenders for public defender services for the city.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any council discussion? Councilmember Joe?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, I have served as a public defender in Colorado. It's not an easy job to do, and we are fortunate that Sean McNally and his firm are servicing the city of Issaquah. They do a fine job. I wish that Judge Stewart hadn't left, because part of the reason why public defenders and prosecutors want to operate in our court is because it is a well-run court. It is a court that doesn't waste any time. It gets its business done in a timely fashion and gets the cases through the process without abridging or trampling on anyone's rights. Everyone's individual rights are taken care of and upheld, but it does get the business done in a timely fashion. We are very fortunate to have this firm want to come to Issaquah and do this, and I would speak highly in favor of adopting this contract this evening. Thank you.
Excellent. Oh, Council President. Michelle?
Yes, I think Councilmember Joe said it very well, but I did want to say this is something that I've been keeping an eye on for some time. I feel that public defenders are essential to ensuring that every Issaquah resident, no matter their economic status, receives justice under the law. I'm really, really pleased that we are ahead of the curve in terms of case reduction. And I think that this is a very, very good start in the right direction. I think there is still more that needs to be done to make sure that public defenders are equitably compensated and that they have the workload that is appropriate for their education and their experience levels. So we still have a ways to go, but I think this is a really good start, and I also will be supporting this motion.
Excellent. Any other comments? With that, let's call for the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. And that passes. I figured out my button thing. Thank you very much, Rachel. The next item of business is Agenda Bill 9096, 2026 City Council Calendar. I'd like to invite Deputy City Clerk Cassidy Miller to present this item.
Thank you for your patience while I get set up.
Please don't look to me for tech support. We need like that Jeopardy theme music we can just play in the background.
There we go. I just needed the moral support of the clerk.
All right.
Well, thank you for the introduction. You already know I'm Cassidy Miller, Deputy City Clerk, and I'm pleased to present the proposed 2026 council meeting and council committee meeting calendar to you.
Come.
So the purpose of adopting the calendar is to create some amount of certainty, predictability, and transparency with the public on when our city council meetings will be held, including the council committee meetings. There is a regular meeting schedule assigned to each group. However, there are a variety of holidays that fall in between that schedule that cause some misalignment and rescheduling needs. In 2024, the council also adopted a cultural and religious holiday, acknowledging that there were certain holidays with significant work restrictions that would prohibit the public from coming to attend in our community. And we are working to not schedule any public meetings on those dates. So administration has taken the regular schedules for these meetings and aligned them with those other dates and done our best to shift them around. So that's what has been included in your packet tonight for review. So the direction we're seeking is just listening to any feedback that you have, any recommendations for changes, and then hopefully adopting a calendar for your meeting schedule for the year.
So
I've already covered this, but we've done our best to kind of realign things, but we have prioritized moving your meetings to other Mondays or Tuesdays just to try to keep that same rhythm throughout the months. Mondays and Tuesdays being per the normal meeting schedule. So changes to the schedule are, of course, still possible after approval of the calendar. There is a process that is followed for cancellations. If there's a meeting where we know we will lack quorum or where there just aren't enough agenda items to support having the meeting, they can be canceled or rescheduled. And then any additional meetings needed, including rescheduled meetings, can of course be scheduled, and we would administratively work with the leadership of the council or the committees, and then when rescheduling a new meeting, poll the whole committee or council to make sure that that we will have a quorum and that everybody is available to the best of our ability. The one thing that we did want to call out are community listening sessions, and I'll talk more about that briefly, but right now we only have one community listening session scheduled for the year. So some key dates to point out are the council retreats, the first of which is later this month. These all occur on Saturdays. So just in case you're not looking at those weekend dates on the calendars, please keep an eye out because while we've tried to keep things on Mondays and Tuesdays, there are some outliers there. Other events are the Mayor's State of the City Address, which occurs on a Thursday. And then the listening session is the council has a booth at the last farmers market of the season, and that is a Saturday. The council also has typically observed 2 meeting breaks, one in the summer and one in the winter, and so those have also been taken into account to make sure that we're not scheduling meetings during those times. Oh. Regarding some additional dates of consideration, the primary and general elections, we did not schedule around these dates since it is not a council election year. There are 2 regular council meetings that fall on the dates before the August and November the primary and general elections, as well as committee meetings that are meeting on those nights. And then the FIFA World Cup coming to Seattle is it's a point of consideration. We have taken those into account, knowing that there's going to be a lot of community engagement really all over the region. But the night of that it's anticipated to have the most impact is the date of the last game in the area, which is July 6th. There is a conflict of a council meeting was that night, and then also on the date of the first game. But we did reschedule the council meeting for the last game, but not the first game. But you will notice all the games have been put on the calendar just for awareness. And then just to kind of walk you through a little bit of what we did with the calendar, I did want to call out that the next week's council meeting should have been a committee of the whole meeting. It has been repurposed to a special meeting. When there is a holiday on a Monday, we typically try to push that council meeting to the next available day. And if that happens to conflict with a committee meeting that would have occurred on that day, we try to shift that committee meeting around. Also of note, in January, we have scheduled a tentative meeting on the 26th to allow additional time if necessary for the council vacancy process. And then you'll notice over there on Saturday, the council retreat. I swear I'm not going to walk through every month. I did want to point out a few things, though. April was particularly difficult because we did have the Issaquah School District spring break, as well as a holiday that fell on that Tuesday. So we had to really move things around, and you'll notice that March has 5 Mondays. So what we did is we took the regular meeting and we pushed it up until to March 30th. And we're going to do this twice this year, at least as proposed. And then you'll notice another council retreat being proposed on May 2nd. And then 2 committee meetings ended up kind of side by side at the final week there. July, that's where we did this again, where we had trying to schedule and realign because of the FIFA World Cup game. So we had 5 Mondays in June. So we took that first meeting of the month and pushed it up to the 5th Monday of the previous month. And then there's your other council retreat last month. We are proposing a additional committee of the whole meeting in October to discuss the budget. So the options before you tonight are to adopt the city council calendar as presented for 2026. You can direct any changes at this time that you may have to the calendar, and we can take those into account. Or you can choose not to adopt a calendar tonight, and we would administratively do our best to look at your regular meeting schedule and realign around any conflicting days. Timeline-wise, if you adopt a calendar tonight, it would go into effect immediately. And I do want to point out, just looking forward, next year will be the year when the Equity Board is tasked with doing their 4-year review of the cultural and religious calendar. So if they have any changes that they would like to recommend, they would bring that before you late next year or possibly early in 28, but that if there are any changes to that calendar, those would be taken into account in your 2028 calendar. So with that, I open it up to any questions you might have.
Are there any questions from the council? Councilmember Walsh.
Thank you. Cassidy, first of all, really appreciate this. So much has gone into it. I wanted to ask, I notice in January and February we have council special meetings rather than committee of the whole. I understand in January it is related to...
Yeah, I was going to say you might have to.
Right. It's related to our appointment. What was the reasoning for the February period?
I believe Wally has the details on it. There's a transportation-related topic.
Yes, Mayor Mullet has asked that we schedule a special council meeting to talk about transportation.
Okay,
So
fantastic.
looking at the calendar, that seemed to make the date that makes sense. I think it's February 9th. I recall. Yeah, February 9th.
Yes. Okay, fantastic. And then, yeah, I guess that's more a discussion point.
Council President Michelle.
So my question is really for the council. I mean, we can handle this under discussion, but the times that we've been at the farmers market have been so well received and have been such excellent outreach for us. And so I'm just wondering if the council would like to add a date in May, and I understand May 2nd is a retreat day for the council, so that might not be appropriate, but the 9th or a subsequent date in May, so that we are out there twice instead of just once at the end of the market. So that's really a question that we can discuss as a council, but that would be that would be my question. Can we add another date?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. You can do that tonight, or you could do that at a later point.
Yeah, I think we're totally open to revisiting this, and we can add stuff at the next council meeting. Are there any other questions for Cassidy? Councilmember Joe.
Thank you. Could you refresh my memory? I know this seems a little bit mundane and pedestrian for us to do, but we did this in 2023, and didn't we receive an award for this effort? Zach?
We've applied for several awards.
Okay.
I'm unsure that we've won any.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought you mentioned that we won an award for being the first city or one of the only cities in the nation that recognized these special dates and modified our calendar to do so.
We believe we have perhaps the most aggressive calendar recognizing cultural and religious holidays. We've looked at other communities that you would think would be the aggressive. Berkeley, California comes immediately to mind, and they have nothing compared to this.
Okay.
So there may be others, but we looked at the places we thought would be along similar lines, and they did not have similar calendars.
Well, I would encourage you to continue to apply for awards for this because it is innovative and no one else is doing it, but it is something that I think needs to be recognized as our nation becomes more and more diverse. Thank you.
If I can speak briefly to that point too. I don't know about any awards, but I do know just in the clerk profession, our calendar and our approach have been of interest to peers. So at least amongst staff at other agencies, there certainly is interest in talk.
If there's no other questions, is somebody prepared to make a motion? Council President DeMichelle.
All right, I think I have the right one this time. So I move that we approve resolution number 2026-01. Is that correct? Okay, adopting the city council calendar for 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any council discussion? No. Councilmember Walsh.
Thank you. Just wanted to recognize that I normally would ask us to move meetings so that we are not hosting on election days. But looking at these, that would be very difficult. Those particular months, I was like, I don't know where I would move it unless it would be a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So unless anybody else has a significant concern over that, I don't think we need to make an adjustment. And just generally, I very much appreciate both our cultural and religious holiday recognition, but also having an entire year's calendar ahead of time makes it a lot easier both for staff coordination and council. And so I just want to show my appreciation and recognize that.
Our challenge on election nights is we'll focus on brevity, so we're out of here by 8 o'clock. They're here. Okay, there's been a motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that passes. The next item of business is committee and regional reports. And we are going to start with Councilmember Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor Mullet. I have no reports.
Councilmember Jay.
Quick report, there is an East Side Transportation Partnership meeting this Friday, first one of the year at 8 a.m. on January 9th. Also, back at the end of December, on December 23rd, I attended an emergency management call about flood recovery, which is highly of interest to the city of Issaquah. So there are a number of resources that they shared in that meeting that we shared with city staff to include on the city website and send around to our residents. And in that vein, I was also appointed to two committees on behalf of the Sound Cities Association. Notably, I'm an alternate for the King County Flood Control District Advisory Committee, so that will be very interesting, especially given recent events. And I was also appointed to be a member of the King County Regional Homelessness Authority Governing Board, so that should be very interesting as well. So we'll have updates in future meetings.
Councilmember Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Public Affairs Committee for the Cascade Water Alliance will be meeting on January 7th at 9 a.m. The Cascade Water Alliance Board meeting will be held January 28th at 3:30. Also, with the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, the next meeting is February 23rd. At that time, we will be reviewing applications for LTAC grants. So those applications are being accepted right now with our Economic Development Department. And if you are interested in applying, please reach out to the city. We are emphasizing events that occur in the shoulder seasons. So our hotels typically are completely booked during summer and the high times, but we're trying to get the shoulder seasons to even out some of the tax revenue and the visits to Issaquah. So if you have a event that's in the shoulder seasons, it's we would encourage you to apply, and those of us on LTAC that review those applications will take them under consideration. Thank you. That concludes my report.
All right. If you want to see Christina's head immediately pop up, just say the word LTAC grants and get an immediate response. Councilmember Walsh.
Thank you. Let's see my notes. I've been elected as the Eastside Fire and Rescue Vice Chair. That's temporary at this point because okay, thanks. We bring on new members and then we'll have elections for the remainder of the year starting in March. But with the current chair and vice chair having left the organization, both for no longer serving in North Bend and Zach Hall moving up to state legislature, we needed a temporary placement. So I'm serving in that temporarily. Eastside Fire and Rescue meets this Thursday. The topics are including establishing the 2026 board priorities, understanding how we are going to evaluate the performance of our current new fire chief, and our legislative agenda. And I've been appointed or continued my appointment to the Affordable Housing Committee through SCA, and I'm looking forward to the next meeting of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Council President Martz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sound Cities Association Public Issues Committee met on Wednesday, December 10th. Federal Way Councilmember Lydia Issaquah Dawson has been approved as the 2026 SCA PIC Chair, and Redmond Councilmember Melissa Stewart has been approved as the 2026 SCA PIC Vice Chair. PIC amended the state legislative agenda recommendation for the board to include 2 new issues proposed by the cities of Mercer Island and Newcastle. One was support for safe use of e-bikes and e-motorcycles, e-dirt bikes, very, very similar to the policy that we took up recently, and then also to modernize liability laws to protect cities and taxpayers. The next SCA, the next SCA PIC meeting will be Wednesday, January 14th at 7 p.m., and the agenda is still to be decided. The SCA Board of Directors elected new members, and at the Tuesday, December 9th North Subcaucus meeting, I was elected to the SCA Board for a 2-year term to represent the North Subcaucus. The first board meeting will be January 21st at 9 a.m. It's going to be kind of a breakout from the AWC City Action Days, so they're going to draw some of the members over to that, and I'll be participating remotely. Services, Safety, and Parks had no December meeting, but the January meeting will be held here in Council Chambers at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, January 27th. The agenda is still to be determined. This concludes my report.
All right. On the Public Issues Committee, is there anyone with longer tenure than you right now?
I don't believe there is.
Congratulations.
It was, the mayor from Kenmore, Mayor Baker, had me by quite a bit, but he left office maybe 2 years ago, and I believe I've been the longest tenured member. Yes, this will be my 16th year as SCA PIC representative. So,
Thank you for your service for Issaquah on the Public Issues Committee.
It is a complete pleasure.
Council President DiMichele.
And he was my mentor when I first got on the council. It's a great place to be an alternate is with Councilmember Martz as the representative. So I have no report because all of my December meetings were canceled, but I was appointed as an alternate to the Puget Sound Regional Council Transportation Policy Board, and they will be holding a meeting this Thursday at 9:30 a.m. I was also appointed to as a member of the Regional Transit Committee. That meeting will be January 15th. And then I was also appointed as a member of the Board of Health. That meeting has been moved to January the 29th. So that ends my report.
Thank you very much. And the mayor's report, I've been in this job for all of 12 hours, so there is no mayor's report. Does anyone have anything for the good of the order? Councilmember Nichols.
I move to suspend the city council rules and add a resolution in support of Issaquah School District propositions number 1, 2, and 3 on the February 10th special election ballot to the January 20th city council meeting agenda.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Nichols.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is an important topic for the community, and I think it's a worthy issue for the city to discuss supporting.
All right, excellent. With that, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that does pass by the majority needed to have a special rule adjustment. So that will be on the January 20th agenda. Is there any other good of the order? All right, I think the following upcoming council meetings, so yes, January 12th, we'll have a special city council meeting at 6:30 to hear the verbal presentations from the applicants for the city council vacancy. I think there are 15 people who successfully filled out the applications, is that right, City Clerk? And they've all qualified as being Issaquah residents. And then Tuesday, January 10th, a regular city council meeting at 7 p.m. Those agenda items are the one we just heard about, along with an informational update from WashDOT on Fish Passage Project. And then we'll have more council vacancy position number 2 Q&A sessions, potential appointments. And as we heard earlier from Cassidy, I think January 26th is also an optional date if necessary we can use for that. There is no executive session this evening. With that being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.